Welcome to the Manager Matt podcast show. The show is designed to give you solutions to your day-to-day management and leadership problems. It's hosted by Matthew Haddock, a frontline manager and leader with over 25 years of experience. If you're ready, then let's get on with the show.
Hi and welcome to the Manager Matt podcast show. This show is designed to give you actionable and practical help and advice which will improve your management skills and get you the best results you can. Make sure, if you haven't already, take the time to subscribe to the show so you'll never miss an episode, and share it, because as you know, sharing is caring. Now, this week is a Friday thought, so let's get on with this week's show. So, it's a bit of a strange title this week's show. No excrement, Sherlock. I'm not sure if you can do the S word on podcasts, so I've kind of left it out. PG rating and all that. Well, we know as managers and leaders that our teams look for us for direction, motivation and guidance when we have those hard times. The vibrant passion or negative energy that you permit into your team, sometimes without being aware, subconsciously affects every single member of your team. And in some cases, it's less subtle. There's a form of communication when you know people are definitely not on the same page. I remember I had a head of manufacturing who was friendly referred to as the Grim Reaper. Bet you can guess what his general vibes were. If you're in operations role, or even any service role, you know that things will go wrong at some point. Targets will be missed, waiting times will be too long, products will not be there when the shipment should have gone, and the quality, unfortunately, will fail. Really good leaders will rally their teams, support and encourage the actions needed to get the ship back on an even keel. They will listen to the problems, add where they can to help the team, bring the resources needed and prioritise, clear the path of the clutter, make sure that your doers can do. No point in doing a review on last week's and last year's financial performance when the factory's on fire. The best thing to do as a leader is help your teams put out the fires and support them getting to the root cause of what started them in the first place. Think of yourself as a resource coordinator, chipping in and helping. In one of my last casts, I talked about burnout, the amount of stress that we have in our day-to-day lives and work that can cause burnout for our teams. And sometimes, and not all the time, but sometimes a major contributor to that stress and burnout can be us as leaders putting it onto our teams. Let's face it, our teams already know and put the stress on themselves if they care about what they do. So managers don't need to pile it on. It doesn't help. It's also important, as a manager, that you don't state the bloody obvious. Don't send an email telling people you need to improve your delivery on-time score. The audience you're sending that to already know that. They live and breathe it every day. And your words of wisdom are not wisdom, they're just words of filling space. The one place I used to work at had the idea of hypercare when you got behind. I naively thought when I joined the business and heard of this hypercare, then it was a great idea. It would bring in extra resources or experts that would be brought in to help me and my team get out of the mire. See the wood for the trees. But no, this business didn't use hypercare like that. They chose it as a way of kicking you to do stuff. And if you weren't doing it, they'd kick you a bit more. And guess what? If you didn't work the first time of kicking, you got another set of kicking coming. Hypercare was feared. So everyone would hide the results to avoid it at all cost, spelling, guess what? Of course, more future problems. Another manager I worked with in the past was great at telling me what and how to improve your service. Look, no shit, Sherlock. Oh, I've said it now. You know that I know what I've got to do. What the bloody hell do you think I'm doing? If you come to me and tell me I need to improve that service, I already know it. That's what I'm there to do. You don't need to tell me. Tell me something new. Add some value. You also tell when you've got a good manager in the situations and problems. They answer with this kind of response when you have problems. They'll say something like, okay, I understand what you're saying. What can I do to help? What can I take on? What can I remove? What can I give you to give you that headspace? Or what advice can I have? What advice would you like? Do you want me to speak to A, B and C? Have you spoken to X, Y and Z? They know their stuff. Now, the difference between that and a poor leader, when you give them the same problem, they'd say something like, okay, so I can see what you're doing, but what are you going to do to get out of it? Let's put in a meeting every 2 hours. You can tell me about what you've done. You see the difference? So my Friday thought this week comes down to this. If you have your team in place and they're trained, experienced and motivated to do their roles, you telling them that no shit Sherlock question helps nobody. It doesn't help you get any more results. In fact, all you'll get on that screen will be a load of nodding people in the meeting saying, yeah, I agree, but behind they'll be rolling their eyes. As the famous terrorist negotiator John McCain once said, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. Well, thanks for listening, and as always, I'm keen to hear your thoughts on this Friday Thought. So drop me a line to managermattpodcast@gmail.com. I'll answer all my emails myself and would love to engage on new topics or revisit some of the old ones. Well, that's it for Manager Matt this week. Thanks for listening, and goodbye.
Thank you so much for listening to this Manager Matt podcast. We hope you found it interesting, helpful and actionable. One last thing, please leave a quick review on iTunes or with your podcast provider, as it helps to spread the word of Manager Matt. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the podcast, and if you did like anything in particular, send an email to managermattpodcast@gmail.com or visit managermatt.co.uk for more content. Feedback is a gift, so let's keep giving. See you next week.